It's good to be back. I have to say, I've been under the weather for a couple weeks here and got tested for COVID, interestingly enough, and obviously negative, right? But it's interesting that you get a cough and that's where your mind goes. Like, is this something that can affect everybody on the planet that I come in contact with? Right? So, as you guys know, I'm very fascinated by the quantum mechanics of what the world calls PTSD. And I traveled the world trying to figure out what action will it actually take to untangle me from the entanglement of my past traumas. I'd studied for years with Deepak Chopra. I studied energy medicine, matrix energetics, medical intuition, emotional intuition. I got my degree in metaphysics, metaphysical psychology, and here I am, right? Saying, hey, like, what our world claims to be dysfunction in many societies, such as the indigenous or spiritual realms, we're claimed to be held at esteem, right? So when I was really diving into the idea of disassociation, my final psychiatrist says to me, he says, Cherie, I don't know how to help you any further. He says, what I can say to you is you're not in there. And he waves his hand at me like that. And I was like, what does that mean? I'm not in here. And he said, I don't really know. He said, but what I can say is that you behave appropriately, your face moves appropriately, but you're not in there. I don't feel you, right? And I was like, well, if I'm not in here, where am I? And he was just like, I don't know. And that sent me around the world and back. Like, where am I? And how do I get back here? How do I get back into this body? And nobody seemed to be able to give me an action that could affect that, right? I had many healers say that they were putting me back in my body. I had many lessons on grounding, right? But I didn't take an action. There was no action for me to personally take to create any change. So when I really started studying, I realized, there's really little information on what the world of mental illness labels disassociation, right? There's very little. And when you look up the definition of disassociation, it's the separation of one thing from another. All right. So as I'm studying the realm of the quantum and the spiritual realm, I'm realizing that the separation of one thing from another is our astral body from our physical body, right? Now, the astral body is the energetic version of your physical body. They say it's the house of your soul, right? It's not your soul. It's the house of your soul, the energetic version of your body. So when we look at astral projection, we see the astral body being projected as a ghost-like hologram, so to speak, of your physical body, right? So for 1 second. I have a big fur buddy that was having a problem. So when we look at this idea of the separation of your astral body from your physical body, right? That's the same as what, you know, the esoteric world calls an out-of-body experience, right? So be that a near death, be that, you know, dissociation, be that an astral projection, whatever that is, the action of separating your astral body from your physical body has to happen. It has to happen, right? Now, how cool is that really in reality, right? People study for years to be able to astral project, excuse me, or astral travel, or transcend the body, or quantum jump, right? All those actions, all those experiences have to be we have to separate from our physical body to be able to accomplish any of that, right? So could it be possible that the ability to disassociate is a superpower? Is a superpower because it's a precursor action for anything, right? Remote viewing, all of that, like any of that, it's the precursor. So could it be possible that dissociation, right, is a reaction while an out-of-body experience is an action, right? Now we have reaction. Reaction is an unconscious action. It is an action often that is a precursor or a response to pain, right? So just as a child, or not just a child, any of us, reaches to touch a hot burner, right? You're going to pull back. Well, what if that pain was so big that you pulled back, right? You pulled back. You pull completely out of that body, especially for a child, because our body is just an idea at that point, right? So we pull out of our body, right? Many people say they can, their memories of trauma are from watching from above, right? So is it possible that we pull out of this body enough that we create a complete separation, right? And is it possible that near death is that we just get further and further and further away from our bodies? I know for myself, I had that experience, right? Where I was so far away that it was a choice to come back, right? It was a choice to look down and go, wow, do I want to re-enter that horror right now, right? And I can remember coming back into that body and it being like, a, you know, like I was far enough away that, you know, I was gasping for air as I came back. Now, I really, really love when I see entertainment take these ideas and put them into picture form, right? So I want to show you a little clip of a movie that as I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, there it is. There it is in picture form where we can see the actual trauma causing the separation and the reentry. Right? So I'm going to share my screen here.
One way ticket, and you're talking to me about healing through belief.
You're a man looking at the world through a keyhole, and you've spent your whole life trying to widen that keyhole, to see more, to know more. And now, on hearing that it can be widened in ways you can't imagine, you reject the possibility.
No, I reject it because I do not believe in fairy tales about chakras or energy or the power of belief. There is no such thing as spirit. We are made of matter and nothing more. You're just another tiny, momentary speck within an indifferent universe.
You think too little of yourself.
Oh, you think you see through me, do you? Well, you don't. But I see through you! What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
So when we can really comprehend that we are taking an action, that unconsciously that people are spending their lifetime to learn, we can move out of the ill category into the super category and start learning how to turn those reactions into action. So that's how I'm going to leave you this week.